One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Carl Jung.
You have been told a lie. From the moment you were born, society has drilled a specific instruction into your mind. Be nice. Be harmless. Don't cause trouble. Turn the other cheek. You were taught that morality means weakness. You were taught that being a good person means being compliant, agreeable, and safe. You smile when you want to scream. You say yes when every fiber of your being wants to say no. You apologize for taking up space. And what has this brought you? Look at your life. Are you respected? Or are you used? Do people listen when you speak? Or do they talk over you? When you look in the mirror, do you see a virtuous man? Or do you see a victim? The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung had a terrifying realization about this kind of goodness. He argued that if you are harmless, you are not virtuous. You are not good. You are merely weak. There is a fundamental difference between being a peaceful man and being a harmless man. A rabbit is harmless. It cannot hurt you even if it wanted to. That does not make the rabbit virtuous. It makes the rabbit prey. But a monster? A warrior? A man who has the capacity for great destruction, the capacity for cruelty, the sharp teeth and the claws, but who chooses to keep them sheathed. That is a good man. That is true virtue. Virtue is not the absence of danger. Virtue is dangerousness under control. In this video, we are going to explore Carl Jung's most controversial and powerful concept, the shadow. We are going to discuss why you need to stop being nice, why you need to integrate your inner monster, and why finding your capacity for evil is the only way to truly do good. To understand why you feel weak, we must first understand the architecture of your mind. Jung believed that the human psyche is split. On the surface, you have the persona. The word persona comes from the Latin word for mask. This is the face you show the world. It is your social armor. It is the polite employee, the obedient son, the nice guy, who holds the door open and never raises his voice. The persona is necessary. It helps us navigate society without chaos. But the persona is a lie. It is a curated, edited version of who you are. It is the version of you that seeks approval. So, where does the rest of you go? Where do your anger, your greed, your lust, your aggression, and your selfishness go? You repress them. You push them down into the basement of your subconscious. Jung called this place the shadow. The shadow consists of everything you refuse to acknowledge about yourself. It is the part of you that wants to punch your boss in the face. It is the part of you that feels jealous of your friend's success. It is the part of you that craves power and dominance. Society tells you to kill the shadow. It tells you these thoughts are evil. So, you pretend they don't exist. You act nice. But Jung warned us, the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. When you deny your capacity for aggression, you don't eliminate it. You simply lose control over it. Have you ever seen a nice guy suddenly snap? Have you seen the quiet person explode in a rage that seems disproportionate to the situation? That is the shadow taking the wheel. If you do not acknowledge the monster within you, the monster will eventually own you. It will manifest as passive aggression, resentment, depression, or sudden outbursts of violence. You become a slave to the very things you are trying to hide. Let's go deeper into why being harmless is actually dangerous. Many young men today suffer from what we might call nice guy syndrome. They believe that if they are agreeable, submissive, and conflict avoidant, the world will reward them. They believe that if they never offend anyone, they will be loved. But deep down, they are resentful. They are bitter because they feel the world owes them something for their goodness. But the world does not respect weakness. Jordan Peterson, a modern psychologist heavily influenced by Jung, famously said, "You should be a monster, and then you should learn to control it." Why? Because life is difficult. Life is tragic. And sometimes, life is malevolent. To survive it, and to protect the people you love, you need teeth.
A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control. Jordan Peterson.
Imagine a situation where your family is threatened, or a situation where you are being bullied at work, or a situation where injustice is happening right in front of you. If you are harmless, if you have castrated your own aggression, what can you do? Nothing. You are useless. Your niceness in that moment is not morality. It is cowardice disguised as morality. To be able to say no, you must have the capacity to back it up. To negotiate a salary, you must have the capacity to be disagreeable. To protect a child, you must have the capacity for violence against an aggressor. Jung argued that a naive person, someone who has not integrated their shadow, is easy prey for evil. They do not understand how dark the world can be because they refuse to look at the darkness within themselves. They project their own goodness onto others, assuming everyone else is nice too. This makes them blind. To navigate reality, you must understand the capacity for evil, and the only way to truly understand it is to find it in your own heart first.
The sad truth is that man's real life consists of a complex of inexorable opposites. Day and night, birth and death, happiness and misery, good and evil. If it were not so, existence would come to an end. Carl Jung.
So how do we fix this? How do we stop being the victim? Jung called this process shadow integration. This does not mean acting out every dark impulse. It does not mean hurting people or becoming a criminal. It means moving your potential for aggression from your subconscious, where it controls you, to your conscious mind, where you control it. It means acknowledging, I am a human being. I have the capacity to be dangerous. I have the capacity to be selfish. I have the capacity to hurt others. This realization is terrifying, but it is also liberating. When you accept that you are capable of great darkness, you stop being afraid of yourself. You stop being afraid of others. Here is the practical application. Shadow integration starts with small acts of assertiveness. It starts with the truth. Stop saying things that make you weak. Stop agreeing when you disagree. When someone asks you to do something you hate, and you say, sure, no problem, you are lying. You are weakening your character. Try saying no, or I can't do that right now. Watch the panic rise in your chest. That panic is your persona dying. Let it die. Observe your resentment. Resentment is the shadow's way of communicating. If you feel resentful toward your boss, your partner, or your friends, it means you have allowed your boundaries to be crossed. Instead of burying that anger, use it. Let the anger tell you what needs to change. Engage in competitive discipline. Jung and Peterson both suggest that physical discipline helps integrate aggression. Martial arts, combat sports, or heavy lifting. When you spar with someone, when you feel the physical reality of conflict, you learn that you are not made of glass. You learn that you can take a hit, and you can throw one. This physical confidence translates into psychological strength. When you integrate the shadow, your personality becomes denser. You become heavier in a room. People stop interrupting you. You carry an aura of respect, not because you are mean, but because everyone can sense that you could be dangerous if you needed to be. And because you choose peace, your peace has value. There is another reason to embrace your shadow. It is not just about aggression.
The shadow is 90% pure gold. Carl Jung.
What did he mean by this? He meant that when you repress your dark side, you are often repressing your best qualities too. Think about it. Society tells us not to be arrogant, so you repress your confidence. Society tells us not to be loud, so you repress your passion. Society tells us not to be greedy, so you repress your ambition. By trying to be nice, you have accidentally thrown away your drive, your creativity, and your sexual energy. The shadow holds the spark of life. It holds the raw, primal energy you need to build a career, to attract a partner, to create art, and to change the world. Have you ever noticed that the most charismatic people have a bit of an edge? They aren't perfectly polite. They are spontaneous. They are a little unpredictable. They are in touch with their shadow. If you want to reclaim your energy, you have to go into the dark. You have to reclaim the parts of yourself you were ashamed of. You need your ambition. You need your competitiveness. You need your desire. Stop apologizing for wanting things. Stop apologizing for winning. That is the gold hidden in the shadow. So, the goal is not to become a villain. The goal is to become a whole human being. A nice guy is half a man. He is only the light, without the substance. A criminal is half a man. He is only the dark, without the control. But the integrated man, the man who knows his own capacity for evil, who feels the weight of his own shadow, and yet chooses to act with honor? That is the ideal. Do not aim to be harmless. Aim to be capable. Aim to be formidable. Look into the mirror. See the monster. Shake his hand. And then put him on a leash and walk forward. Because the world doesn't need more nice guys. The world needs dangerous men who have chosen to be good.
No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Carl Jung.